The idea of having just one suit in the wardrobe is a bit crazy to someone like me, but nowadays most people really only have one or two, and that's really fair enough. The workplace is a lot more casual than it used to be, and a suit is not something that you really need to wear as you walk down the street anymore. So the question is, if you only had to choose one, what should it be? My name's Alexander, and today on Suitably, we're going to break down that question. There's a saying that you might have heard of, and that is a man only really needs three suits: a black suit, a charcoal suit, and a navy suit. And for the most part, I actually think that's pretty good advice. However, we're not focused here today on the person that has room for three. We're looking at the person that has room for maybe one or two. Now, if this is the case for you, the first thing that I would do is probably axe the black suit. A lot of people tend to think that a black suit is a really versatile sort of suit to have in your wardrobe. That's not really the case. A black suit is a really formal, very austere sort of suit to have. And because of that, it only really suits things like cocktail parties, and then on the flip side, things like funerals. If you have the room in your wardrobe, should you have a black suit? Absolutely. But if you can only afford to have one or two, it's probably not my first choice. So that leaves us with charcoal and navy. And what's going to work is really going to depend on you as a person, how old you are, what you do for work, where you're going to wear it, but most importantly, how you want to be perceived. Clothing has this incredible ability to influence how people see us. And particularly when it comes to a suit, something as simple as the color can have a huge impact on how people see us. Let's kick this off with navy. And navy, like what I'm wearing at the moment, is obviously much darker than what you'll find in a typical blue. I feel a lot of people nowadays think royal blue is navy. Navy is a really, really dark color. It's typically seen as quite authoritative, but also at the same time, trustworthy and friendly. It's a great color for things like a job interview. It's a great color for almost any situation. Reasons why you wouldn't want to wear navy when you want to come off as a little less grounded. Let's just say you want to come off as a little bit more flamboyant. If you want something that looks a little less pedestrian almost, navy may not be the right color for you in that instance. But if you're the sort of person that only has one or two suits in their wardrobe, I would hazard a guess that you're probably trying to find things that are a little bit more conservative. A navy suit, particularly a well-fitted one, is always going to look brilliant. So next we have charcoal, and as you can see, charcoal immediately has a different tone. So even though they're both quite dark colors, you'll find that charcoal will come off as a little bit more austere, works really well in monochromatic tones like what I have right now, and typically comes off as a little bit more dignified. It's a great suit again for job interviews, typically because it makes you seem a little bit more authoritative. If you are a little bit older, it does command a little bit more respect, particularly if you cut it in a way that's a little bit longer and has a little bit more drape to it. Now, I know earlier I did mention that black is typically the best color when it comes to funerals. For myself personally, I prefer to wear charcoal. Now, there are a couple of reasons for that. It's a bit more of a versatile color. I have more charcoal suits than I do have black suits. In my crowd, I guess you'd call it, people dress a little bit more casually. So I feel that charcoal is a great color because I'm still maintaining a level of dignity and respect, not only for myself, but for those around me. But I am toning down a little bit, which I think is really important. So what about you? What should you choose? Well, that really depends on you, and there's not really a right or wrong. Both options are really good if you need to just have one suit in the wardrobe. I personally think that a charcoal suit will typically suit an older gentleman, someone who may not necessarily want to wear a suit all that often, but the times that he does wear a suit wants to look really dignified and really strong. Navy, I feel, might suit someone who's a little bit younger, who might be in a situation where they're doing job interviews and maybe finding themselves in more business-based applications. As I said, navy is a little bit more of an approachable color. It's a little bit more friendly. So when you walk into that interview room, you come across as such. Charcoal still does quite a good job. It's very dignified. It makes you look like you're taking this seriously, but at the same time, it doesn't have the same approachability that a navy suit will have. So moving into the outfit review, and we've got two outfits to look at today. Obviously the first is the navy here, and you'll notice that this is styled pretty classically with the notched lapel. The pocket square in this particular instance draws out a bit of the blue, but also has a contrasting red, just to help add a little bit of color to the overall ensemble. Moving down to the bottom half of the jacket, you can see here we've gone again with a fairly traditional flat pocket situation. 2 buttons again, which is pretty standard, including a complementing special lining on the inside. One thing that does make this one a little bit different to a normal suit is the inclusion of the ticket pocket, which is a second pocket that sits vertically on the left-hand side. Not necessary, but is a nice little touch. Moving on to the charcoal suit, and we've got a couple of unique features on this one. First being the contrasting lapel buttonhole with a white stitch. I feel that this one works really well with the pocket square that I have, again in a white and black monochromatic scheme that's followed throughout this entire outfit. Moving to the bottom, and again we have a 2-button configuration, again with a special lining and the signature Suitably gold trim. Something that's a little bit different to this suit to some of my normal ones is the fact that we have here welted pockets as opposed to the conventional flat pockets. As I said, I use this one for things like funerals and things like that, and this small feature just helps to add a little bit more formality to the piece. Now moving on to the overall ensemble, again pairing this one really classically, white shirt, wool knit tie with a white polka dot running through it. Now this one I've cut a little bit longer than how I normally cut my suits, just because I felt that this one is something that I want to wear when I want to sort of not be too fashion forward, want to sort of melt into the crowd a little bit. And again with the charcoal, similar sort of thing with the cut, again quite broad, a little bit more classic, a little bit more length in the jacket. Again working really well as an overall ensemble with my black Oxford shoes, and again with a grey woolen knit tie to go with. And the overall outfit today, a bit longer, a little bit more dignified, a little less fashion forward than what a lot of people would typically do, maintaining the color and what it says about me in this particular situation. Don't forget, if you want to buy the charcoal or the navy, you can do so from www.suitably.com.au. Everything that we do is handmade and specific to your measurements, so you know that the fit will be absolutely perfect. If you really like this video, if you got some value out of it, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. We're really excited to teach you a little bit more about modern tailoring and how it can work for you. Thanks again, and we'll see you guys in the next one.